There's one thing that I see time and time again when paint jobs fail, and it's not because they're using cheap material. Look, we've all been guilty of this, but this is something you definitely want to avoid on your next paint job. Film thickness matters in the restoration world, the custom world, the collision world, even the do-it-yourself projects. Putting on products too thick or too thin can have catastrophic failures. Well, today we're going to show you everything you need to know in one video so you can avoid these failures. Today we're talking about sprayable materials, but if I'm being honest, there's a lot that can go wrong before we start applying our undercoats and our top coats. So I'm talking to you bodymen for a minute. If we're talking about collision, it is best to be doing our repairs over OEM paint jobs, not 2 or 3 paint jobs that the local hack 'em up fixed. If you're doing restoration, it's best to start over, meaning strip that car to bare metal. You can't trust a paint job that's 20, 30, 40 years old. It's best to start with nothing and build up your products on top of it. Body fillers. Most people are applying body fillers way too thick. How thick should they be? Really, they should be a 1/16 of an inch, maybe in some extreme cases an 1/8 of an inch, but keep your filler thin to win. So how are you supposed to know how thick a paint job is? Well, the answer's simple. You have a mill gauge. I'm shocked how many people don't own this inexpensive device. This guy right here was right around $100, and I use it on a daily basis, and I'm using it on every panel before I actually work on it. Most factory paint jobs are going to be that 4 to 7 mil range. Once you exceed 21 plus mils, that's failure. And you definitely want to know, is it a factory paint job? Is there 8 paint jobs on this? Does it need to be stripped? What am I dealing with? For my European friends, a mil is 1/1000th of an inch, and here in America, we deal with mils. Hey, hopefully you're enjoying this video. I just wanted to mention real quick that you guys are not buying our shirts at refinishmedia.com. Quit being a peasant or a poor and go right now and buy one of our shirts. I'm just kidding. If you want one, buy one. It is the best way to support us. We're always adding new tools and new products on there, so make sure you check out refinishmedia.com. Now back to the video. So how does this simple machine work? I obviously have to turn it on first. I lay it flat till it beeps. After it beeps, I read it. This says 4.42 mils. And remember, it's not millimeters, it's a mil, M-I-L. And what it's doing is it's measuring everything from the raw substrate to the clear coat and everything in between. So this is obviously a factory paint job in that area. Let's start with our bare metal primers. Most of us out there are using an etch or an epoxy. And I'm not talking about those high build hybrid epoxies. I'm talking about bare metal primers, be it etch or epoxy. There's a couple things going on. If you put it on too thin, you don't get the bare metal protection, so it fails. You put it on too thick because you think you're doing your car right because you live in the salt belt, and too much will fail. It will peel. I know it's a primer. This is a primer gun with a 1.8. Follow the technical data sheet. In most cases, you do not want to use a tip size this big. In most cases, that etch or epoxy needs to be right around 1 mil, meaning one coat with like a 1.4 or 1.5. So too thick or too thin will lead to failure. Let's talk about high build primers, primer surfacers, body man in a can, whatever you want to call it. There's many, many different options out there. Let's talk about the 4 or 5 most common. Some guys are using UV primers. Some guys are using waterborne primers. A lot of guys are still using the 2K urethanes. There's dudes using the hybrid, high build epoxies, and don't forget the polyesters. Each one of them are very different, and they could have different tip sizes and how many coats. Typically, UV primers are thinner than, let's say, everyone else in that class. Smaller tip size, less coats. Even waterborne, I'm only getting 1 mil per coat, and it wants 2 to 5 coats. So I'm getting 2 to 5 mils a build. When you go to your urethanes, I'm using a 1/8 tip, which is bigger than the other two recommends, and I'm getting around 2 to 3 mils per coat. If I put 4 smoking wet coats with a 1.8 tip, I might have 12 mils of urethane. When I go to my polyesters or I go to my hybrid epoxies, with my polys, I'm using a 2.5 tip, which is a fire hose. I'm achieving 4 to 5 mils per coat if I put it on really wet. And let's say I put 4 coats on there. I could be at 20 mils of just high build primer using that polyester. That's crazy. If you did a scuff and shoot and painted over that and it cracked and failed later, you'd go, wow, this product sucks. No, you suck because you didn't use it correctly. When I'm using those crazy thick products like polyester, when I start blocking them, I'm starting with an 80 grit or 100 grit so I can remove most of those mils. There's always a minimum and a maximum to these products. What are they? In most cases, you want a minimum of 2 mils of primer. If not, it could fail. In most cases, you want a maximum of 10 mils of complete undercoats. So when your car is all done in primer, sitting in the booth, and you're ready to paint it, and you put a mil gauge on there, everything should be single digits, meaning 9.9 mils or less. If you follow those rules, you won't have product failure. Now to the good part, we're finally talking about top coats. Now, our first thing that we're going to talk about, there's a lot of controversy to it behind sealers. Should I use a sealer? Should I never use a sealer? Look, we made an entire video about the pros and cons of using a sealer. You should definitely watch it. But just to give you my opinion on sealers, I don't like sealers on high-end paint jobs, especially in custom and restoration. But if you're doing collision, you can't base coat over raw plastic. You can't base coat over e-coat. If you are, it's gonna fail. So for most people doing production work, they're gonna seal certain things. So definitely check out the video. But how much should we seal and how many coats? Follow the technical data sheet as always, but here's the thing. In most cases, you're gonna put 1 coat of sealer on and you're gonna achieve around 1 mil. And you should be using a 1.2, 1.3, or 1.4 tip for that sealer. What happens if I put it on too thin or too thick? If you put it on too thin, you could have adhesion problems, you could have durability problems, meaning your paint job might be very acceptable for stone chips and rock chips and stuff like that. What happens if I put it on too thick? Well, it doesn't dry correctly. It doesn't cure directly. You could actually have failure. So make sure that you're following your product's guidelines and always look at the product specifications. So now we're down to clear coat, and clear coat is different for different people doing different things. We'll talk about my production guys and my collision guys. Most guys are gonna put 2 coats on, they're gonna pick out 3 pieces of dirt and they're gonna buff it. Hopefully you're not leaving these off of the gun. There's some people out there who think, which they're crazy, that if you sand and polish a car, it messes with the UV value because all the UV protection floats to the top. That's crazy talk. Whoever told you that is nuts. There is a minimum film thickness for most clears. Look at your technical data sheet. It will say minimum mils. Most of them are like 1.5 to 2 mils. What does that mean? When I'm applying clear, I'm averaging 1 to 1.5 mils per coat. So if I'm in a collision shop and I do 2 coats of clear, I'm at 2 to 3 mils. If I don't get crazy with my sanding and my polishing, I will achieve the minimum mil thickness for my UV protection. If it's too thin and you have 1 mil or 1/2 mil, it will fail over time. What about the opposite ends of the spectrum? What about these high-end custom guys building $1 million cars that put 6 coats of clear on? Is it gonna fail? Yeah, if they left all 6 coats on. But what they're doing is they're putting 6 coats on, so they might have 6 to 9 mils, but they're aggressively starting off with like a 600 grit, then an 8, then 1,000, then a 15, then a 3, then a 5, then an 8,000, and they're buffing it. They could possibly remove 3 mils or more from their clear coat. So there definitely is a minimum and a maximum that you want. You should always follow the manufacturer's recommendation, and you want to make sure you're using the right clear. If you want to learn more about flow coating and the difference and stacking clear, check out this video right here. We go into great detail about the pros and cons of doing it each way. All right, let's do a recap because it's confusing. There's a lot of numbers going out there. A mil is 1/1000th of an inch. And before you actually move to your top coats, all of your primers should be, in a perfect world, 10 mils or less. Now know this, Most major paint manufacturers recommend 21 mils or less. I've seen some of them at 14 mils. So if you surpass their recommended numbers, they may not warranty it. So try to do thin to win when you can and follow the manufacturer's recommendations. I would absolutely map out and track where I am with my job with a simple mil gauge. You can pick them up anywhere. If you want to check out our website, refinishmedia.com, we sell them there too, but you can buy them anywhere. They even sell them on Amazon and your local jobber. Hey, hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully you learned a lot. If you like the information we're providing, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps our channel out. And from all of us at Refinish Media, until the next time.